Now this one was quite a surprise.
For those who pretty much lived under a rock for like 3 years, basically this knockoff of MPM-06 Ironhide, which is literally, well, just movie masterpiece Ironhide, is literally was originally a Black Apple prototype that never got released because at the time in 2020, in the middle of June, Chinese police literally arrested people from Weijiang, and Weijiang pretty much got shut down after they released a knockoff of a high quality Iron Man Hot Toys figure. Yeah. The context sounds a little bit weird, but that's literally what happened. And after years and years, we have literally been disappointed that this beast of a Ironhide figure never got to be released, because all we had was all we had as a actual like high quality movie masterpiece Ironhide was the LS09, which for many people who think it's just the Black Mamba, it's not, because the Black Mamba literally just copied the movie masterpiece Ironhide and just enhance some features and pretty much make it a little bit of an oversized knockoff, a high quality one of a movie masterpiece Ironhide, which that I really liked. But this one takes the cake because they literally took the time and effort to pretty much make this Ironhide more movie accurate. But of course, Weijiang didn't do it, or Black Apple, because, well, you know. But at the time of I pretty much filmed this Ironhide and the Bayway Ironhide, which is based on the studio series, they listed this guy
kind of
just when I got these two,
the shoulders from
and
the back,
it was confirmed that they are pretty much doing an unreleased copy of the Black Apple design.
And having weird shoulder joints.
This was pretty much made by, well, nobody, because we don't know which company did it. It's just
to look a bit more screen accurate, which was Black Apple's intention.
Movie masterpiece Ironhide, but it's just the Black Apple, well, prototype being released by someone, but not by Black Apple. So this is probably my overall explanation, but I'm pretty much sure Dr. Lockdown is gonna pretty much explain it a little bit better. But then again, it's only a matter of time before he's gonna cope over this one. But either way, my fellow knights, this is CyberKnight-Miky with, well, a fourth party MPM-06 Ironhide by Black Apple that never got released. And it's fucking awesome! So let me just overall say that the overall painting and sculpting of this figure is absolutely astonishing and amazing. But the overall quality and materials that was used is very interesting. Now, for those who pretty much don't know what I mean, is that the overall sculpting and the painting is literally almost on par of the actual movie masterpiece, but they literally done some changes that literally makes this a little bit more of a new kind of figure, per se. I mean, the headlights is not pretty much the transparent that we are used to, but more painted orange, which for me I would have liked the transparent plastic, but hey, I'd leave with painted. But then there's also some parts that are added that really makes this look more of a masterpiece than the actual masterpiece. And how the hell did they even do it? Even the goddamn backpack. Oops. Hold on. Of course, this is not the DNA design. This is literally their original kind of weapons from Dark of the Moon. Pretty amazing. But that's not what I'm here. The meat and potato is with the backpack. Oh my goodness, look how we came so far with the back. I mean, take a look at the LS09. Pretty much simple. Black Apple. Simple. Black Apple. Even the legs are Black Apple. Again. What? Even the goddamn feet has been redesigned so much. Even the panels that literally functions as pistons, which has a hinge system, and of course while the pivot may not be that much, it still poses pretty well for what it was built. And of course the pieces overall just feels like, well, Ironhide. And of course the flaps, they are really shrunken down and aren't really in the way that much. Maybe the leg panels, but then again, the amount of mechanical detail that you actually managed to produce this figure for being something that is literally a cancelled release. I I am speechless. But what's more speechless is how they managed to integrate the wheels inside the torso while also having movable shoulder articulation. Look. They can move forward, but they don't hinder they don't untap anything because there's nothing to untap. Because look, I can move around and the piece doesn't pop out because it's not tapped in, but it still rests there. I mean, look, I can even do move around even that much, and even in a shake test, it still holds a pose. This is how fascinating this figure is. And this is where I come with the overall materials they're using. The alloy, and of course the plastic that really sounds and smells like beach plastic. What the hell am I meaning by that? Now, this is what I pretty much mean. What I pretty much mean is that the plastic is not the typical PVC kind of material we're used to. They have some kind of some sort of grudgy, like if you have any kind of the beach equipment, like you kind of smell the plastic, you kind of feel that kind of plastic material, but it still holds on. Like it kind of smells like rubber and maybe feels like rubber, but it's not rubber at all. It's really strange how they actually kind of use this kind of material on this kind of figure. I mean, Mag Motion even described it even better in their review. And honestly, if you want the overall materials that they use, go check them out. They kind of pretty much told it a little bit better with, of course, the subtitle text, of course. But either way, it still holds on. But my overall critique is not the... Well, I would not say the head sculpt is a critique because it's absolutely amazing. And they actually has blue eyes on it. Even though it does look dead, but hey, still, it's still better than just transparent plastic, I mean, right? And of course, the detail is on the roof with it. But what I mean is, it kind of gets a little bit, well, it's on tab pretty easily. And there's no screws. And of course, it doesn't have any batteries included. Which I will explain now is that while I don't know exactly what kind of batteries is pretty much included, I will pretty much edit it in. But for now, you will see this Ironhide's eyes not lit up throughout this review. But with the batteries I will show off, you can literally have his eyes glow. And they glow amazingly. But the fact is that they don't have screw hole inside that literally holds it into place. So, except with the back section, that actually has a screw. But why does this not have it? It's really strange. And of course, while we are with the head, his mouth can usually open, like the usual Ironhide. Pretty gloomy, am I right? I mean, I'm literally holding a decapitated 80% of Ironhide's head. Huh. So this is what Megatron felt like. Anyway, let's just put this guy's back on because it felt a little bit uncomfortable holding a pause. Oh god. Yeah, you see, it kind of yeah, this is the reason why I prefer if it had a little bit more of screws, because either way it would explode into a million pieces. But I'm not gonna cope, unlike Dr. Lockdown, which I can already tell that he is gonna cope real hard on this kind of feeling. But listen, this is the kind of plastic I'm talking about. But either way, before we gonna move forward with the criticism, well, of course there are some parts that kind of untaps a little bit easy. I mean, this doesn't have it, it's just rest there. And of course, some of the plastic can pretty much just... And of course, there's also the parts that also untaps a little bit too easily, but hey, at least it's not overly drastic or literally enthusiastic. Maybe for some people it may be, but for me, it's not that much. Unless it's Dr. Lockdown. I really talk about that guy a lot, but it's for a reason. I mean, this guy literally just coped hard with the Wei Jiang Optimus Prime. I mean, he has some points, but at some points also invalid when he also mistransforms a lot. And being biased. So, he does his, I do me. But until I have my Wei Jiang Optimus Prime, if there's only some copies that actually get released on the goddamn sushi store, it's only a matter of time before I roast his ass. But anyway, let's talk about the weapons that also can clip on with the help of these gas cans. With you have 2 ports here, or literally, yeah, 2 ports here that literally taps into there, and of course the port here that taps into this hole, and together you tap into place, boom, and of course you use this hole right here to tap it into this, and now you can literally rest the Dark of the Moon weapons that they had in the film, and maybe not use them that much, but in the video game he pretty much did. And of course you also get the whoops, yeah, maybe I should also address this piece, which my copy literally had this a little bit loose, so, but it's no big deal. It taps in a little bit easy, but if it does tap out again, I can pretty much super glue it back on. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna cope it. Oh yeah, also out of the box he also includes his cannons, which they are quite hollow, and for size comparison, which I will show off right now, here we have these cannons next to well, let me show you the first one for the right arm. Here we have it next to the other one, which you can tell the difference what they literally went for. And of course, this doesn't have the light up feature unlike the other predecessor, which... Hold on. Oh, there we go. Ah, sorry. But yeah, this one is a little bit more chunkier and heavier, while this is more... a little bit more screen accurate and... Well, not as heavy, but hey, it does the job done, and it does it does the job well. It does the job pretty well done. It gets the job done is what I'm trying to say. Goddamn my autistic and nonsense. Either way, here's the other one, which yeah, this one is pretty much improvement over this one. I mean, yeah, sure, this one is still bigger, but I do love the detail a little bit more than the other one, and even though it does have a lighter feature, it is a little bit too bright. It does look still stunning with some kind of piston and functionality and all that sort of stuff, but that's not what I'm here, which for this, it's more for how you are gonna attach these guys. Out of the box, it pretty much shows like this, but what you're gonna do is just fold up this piece, and of course there's a piece right here that literally was there when I got it out of the box, but you just fold it up like so when you're gonna attach these weapons, and when you're gonna attach them, you're gonna have this port literally porting on the other arm like so. Just tap it in. Hold on. Ah, there we go. You have this groove right here, which you're gonna port it right here, and then you're gonna angle this piece right here to plug into the arm like so. And once you have that, you're gonna take this port, this piece right here, and then you're just gonna fold it in like a fillet, and then you're gonna rest it into place until you get the arms pretty solid. And now you don't get it fumble around, maybe a little bit much. This one doesn't have in too well, but hey, in the Revenge of the Fallen, it literally just detached really easily. I mean, he pretty much lost those two. Now, same for the other one, except that this one has a little bit more of a functionality and is pretty more easily, well, can assemble a little bit easier than the other one, in theory. But yeah, when I'm trying to prove a point, this guy really likes to fight with me. But yeah, you're gonna have this piece just fold it in, and then you just tap it in like so, and then you have this piece right here that you're just gonna fold up, and then you're just gonna rest it in place. But also take this piece, and now we just secure it like so, and now you have both the cannons totally assembled. Seeing him just posing like this just makes me giggle even more. Either way, let me show you all the articulation. I mean, some of the articulation is pretty similar, like the swivel hinge and of course mouth. But of course you get the shoulder articulation, which is the new update, and I'm gonna say it's much improvement over the MPM-06. And of course, you just get 90 degrees of bend, but you also get a ball joint on the base of the thumb, but no hinge at the thumb, but at the end, at the beginning, but at the end you get a hinge, which a weird thumb, but I've seen weirder. And of course, individually articulated fingers with two hinge joints of each finger, which is pretty nice. And you get a waist swivel, but also an ab crunch. An ab crunch on a Ironhide figure. My goodness, this is an ingenuity genius. And here's also a thing. Man, Motion, I do appreciate your video, but why the hell did you mistransform these pieces? Because when I saw it, it literally was on like the other way, which was like that. Kind of annoyed me because you kind of mistransformed a step. Again, it's not a big deal. It's just trying to promote it, but still, it kind of looked a bit ugly. But of course, you can kick up that much and kick up that far, which is not that much, but hey, he's an acrobatic, he knows what he's doing. And of course, the spread is not that much, but of course, if you're functioning the 5 rotation, which, come on, up, there we go, you get a little bit more of a spread. There we go, much better. I'm sure there's a way to get him a little bit more of a beautiful spread, but hey, he do have the 5 swivel, which is pretty nice. Honestly, a little bit better than just, oops, the hinge and knee rotation, which, seriously, you dingus. But anyway, you also get a double hinge that only functions as a 90 degrees, but I think you can move it for a little bit more, but yeah, I don't want to break too much, but hey, I think it just goes 90, but it still functions pretty well and has a nice ratchet. And of course, pieces do type out, but it does type in pretty easily as well. And of course, you get this piece, which also you have to rest this piece with this tab, like so. And with that, you literally have this resting there. And of course, this piece is on the ball joint. And of course, you can untab it for more clearance. But hey, I like it having pieces of kibble, which still functions well. And of course, I already stated with the feet articulation with a limited pivot, which I don't mind at all, but the feet do function well. I mean, it goes to show that the articulation is pretty damn amazing, or pretty much great. Of course, I also got these flaps, which just, well, has a hinge on, hinge on, hinge on, all that sort of stuff. Sure, some stuff are limited, but I don't care. I'm really impressed with the articulation on this one. Again, well, sure, many people may not have this as their cup of tea, but for me, personally, it's astonishing how they actually went to actually use the materials just to pretty much have this guy pretty much be articulated, but also not have so many stuff break is impressive. But of course, as always, size comparison here we have it with, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Ah, there we go, much better. Here we also have it with Sunflower, Big Firebird Build's latest product, which is literally made of also kind of silicone plastic, which is this the year of kind of rubber plastic being high quality? My main boy Shin Godzilla, the Night Combat version, which is made of transparent plastic, which makes him shine like a goddamn devil. I love it. Figma Doomslayer, which considered Ironhide is literally a weapon specialist. I think these two would have something in common. And here we have it next to Yellow Park Optimus Prime from Bumblebee. Not the accurate scale, but hey, it still looks very good. I mean, wasn't Optimus Prime supposed to be 5 meters in Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast? And of course, last but not least, Toa. Oh yeah, I've also forgot to mention about the functionality of the guns, which there's a type there, which you can literally plug into the handles like here. And when you do that, you also need to wrap around these fingers to rest there. And once that's done, you literally have him holding the goddamn guns. That is amazing. I'm telling you, if my 12-year-old self literally saw this figure, he would have just pretty much fainted of amazement right now. Now, I wouldn't call this transformation overly complex or just purely frustration. but it is complex and almost fit the criteria. But the overall end result is pretty worth it because the truck mode here, the GMZ, the GMG, or was it GMC? I think they literally changed that. Yeah, I think they kind of changed that. Because, for copyright reason. But, the truck mode overall looks stunning. I mean, my goodness. The fact this is a transforming Ironhide that is from Black Apple and never got released, and the fact that all the kibble literally cleans up. Yeah, this really is quite impressive truck. And of course, as I stated before, here we have all the lights that's literally painted orange, which I would have gone transparent, but I understand why they went for it, because for the feature, you literally have these top roof, literally have a feature to remove easily, unlike the other one, which you need to fully open with force, which I don't feel safe. But the fact that you can store the weapons from inside is impressive enough. And of course, where's the guns? No, really. You couldn't tell that these pieces here would have been the guns if you actually show them. If you show the newbie where the guns are, where the Dark of the Moon guns are, they would probably say that you have them in the bag. But no, they are pretty much stored inside, which, yes, it is parts forming, but hey, shh. That's pretty much Ironhide for you, and literally MPM Ironhide for you. I mean, then again, if you had them literally just stored in pretty much all the Ironhide guns just being part of his body, where the hell would you... that would have been even more a frustration. But then again, it's just... but yeah. Honestly, the fact that they actually have all the paint on this figure just cleanly just makes me impressed. But of course, some parts kind of get a little bit untied easily with this back wheel being hooked on with this kind of, well, hook, which just hook into place. And yeah, and of course the rolling, he rolls pretty well, but due to the functionality of these pieces, they can get a little bit in the way, but if you line it up properly, he rolls. And of course, these pieces move inside, which is part of the transformation, which is a bit frustrating. But, and of course, this piece, which is supposed to hook in, but of course, this literally this is supposed to hook into place here. But of course, my copy, it kind of detached, and it's raining. Goddammit! But yeah, overall, I'd say that the overall truck modes and the overall engineering is very different from the original masterpiece, which I can tell that because I have transformed it. And yeah, this is League's I wouldn't say better, I would say different than the original Ironhide. But for size comparison, here we have Ironhide next to well, oops, shit. Here he is next to Sunflower, Takua from the anniversary set, Kahu on his surfboard, this little guy, and the buggy form. Bumblebee Prime and Bumblebee from Rise of the Beast, which... how the hell is he bigger in the Bayverse than these two guys, while their truck modes are supposed to be same size? What? Geometry is really different from Transformers, huh? Curse mass shifting. Yolapar Prime. Figma Doom Guy, which... I think he is too big. Oh, of course, what's a review without s.h.monsterarts Godzilla? And last but not least, here we have it next to LS09 Weapon Expert, aka an upscale of MPM-06 Ironhide, and you can tell the difference, except for the smokestack. That is literally a factory flaw, but yeah, you can tell the difference between these two guys, which this one literally used fake parts to literally form the GMC, while this literally is part of that. And of course, the headlights is literally more visible than just being way too dark. And of course, the taillights on the roof, and of course on the side you can see that they added a lot of paint, unlike the other one. And of course the tempo is pretty much this similar, but in some aspect very different. And of course the backlights really are different. And of course, for LS09, you get the Autobot bonus with the Autobot symbol here, which you had to assemble yourself out of the box. But yeah, honestly, this is quite astonishing. And of course, I have some stickers to put on this guy, but I'll do it later. But yeah, and of course, on the bottom, you can see that they may look similar in some aspect, but yeah, they really just did the different tooling for this guy, and I think it paid off. And of course, there are some soft, rubbly soft plastic on the wheels. And just like the other one, is also kind of rubbly plastic. So yeah, on all, pretty amazing. So, overall, the fourth party MPM-06 Ironhide by Black Apple, the unreleased prototype that from a unknown company, is honestly the Black Apple we should have gotten a long time ago if Black Apple and Wei-Jiang didn't got shut down 3 years ago. Man, it was 3 years ago? God damn. Honestly, seeing Black Apple just makes me nostalgic over this product. I mean, I had the Wei-Jiang Inspector, which is the fourth party of Hound, which I had that figure until I had to sell him because due to some financial situation, and of course he kind of needed a new home. But still, having this figure kind of makes me really love Wei-Jiang for what they were capable of. And yes, I do know there were some compromises and some kind of frustration with the transformation, which this video is a bit long, but hey, I do need to showcase you overall the transformation and the overall articulation and my overall feelings for it. Which, yeah, given how they kind of went and took that prototype and made this product with the materials they had and the materials they kind of pretty much needs to follow or just decided to use, I'm shocked this is not in pieces and still holds up. It may feel wobbly, but it still holds up. It still feels solid even with some wibbly. It's a feeling that you really need to feel it yourself. It's not the Black Mamba kind of plastic feel, which, yes, the Black Mamba may have a little bit stronger plastic than this one, but then again, with the overall roof being more kind of more easy to detach than the Black Mamba, the weapon storage is much better than the Black Mamba. I do know that the people are kind of crying out, and Dr. Lockdown. I do know that Dr. Lockdown is gonna. I don't know if he's gonna see this, but still, kind of cope over that it should have gone with just regular weapons. But then again, I feel like the weapon storage feels a little bit more better. I mean, you can also have this without the weapon stored. It's an option. For the Ironhide, you just had them rest on the side. It's kind of looked ugly, but for this, they thought out how to literally integrate these weapons inside of the vehicle without compromising it. Yes, the guns may have some parts forming for it, but it still functions as part of the vehicle. And again, when I literally transformed this out of the box for the first time, it may be a struggle at first, but with time just spending with it, it had a rhythm that I followed. Yes, I may be autistic, but still, I had patterns that feels connected. What I mean is that it's a transformation that really didn't really frustrate me at all. Yes, it's a challenge, yes. But I have dealt with challenges before. And some of them really frustrated me because they were too hard plastic. But for this, the materials, they kind of figure out that maybe you shouldn't use hard plastic to have literally had this kind of little bit of the transformation feel a bit in the way. I mean, it's not the deformation space Starscream figure where the overall conversion for that figure is just a goddamn penalty mess, or it's or even it's not the goddamn Sailor Toys Flash, which is just panels and panels just going over each other. Just that figure was kind of a frustration. Yes, it may have some enjoyment at first, but going through that conversion, I really despise the Sailor Toys Blitzwing figure so much. But for this one, I might say I might do it again. After this review, I might do it again. Yes, I'm that crazy. But yeah, that's all I had to say. I mean, yes, they literally wanted to have this screen accurate, which was Black Apple's intention. Yes, there are some compromises, yes, but I still love the look, the feel, and of course the enjoyability of this figure, despite of some quality control issues. Because let's face it, not all figures are perfect. They have some kind of compromises and the kind of issues. But for this one, it's a figure that, in my eyes, still feels like Ironhide, no matter what. And honestly, if you want this kind of beast of a figure, it's available at Show-Z store, and it's literally just around 90 to 100 bucks. And for how much you pay, it's worth it. It's so worth it picking this one up. But if you want something that's a little bit more solid, well, you can go for LS09, the Black Mamba Ironhide, which is also in stock. But I think you're missing out something that's a dream finally come true. Either way, I'm maybe stalling for now, but that's all I had to say. That was the fourth party Black Apple Ironhide finally released. And yeah, it's honestly, it's a kind of a joy to actually film and actually really talk about this figure and the backstory of just how Wei Jiang just shut down, and then some person just got hold of the prototype blueprints and such and just went all out. Of course, who knows what's gonna happen in the future? Will third or fourth party companies go out and literally make their own kind of Black Apple design, but still have some enjoyment? Who knows? I mean, will there be a kind of a Black Apple update of the Optimus Prime, but a little bit more touch and a little bit better? Who knows? I mean, for crying out loud, there's some goddamn listings of that figure literally got released, and I kind of missed that one out. Yes, I know that Dr. Lockdown complained about it, but hey, I still want to have that goddamn bastard. But yeah, I'm gonna stop stalling. For now, I'm just gonna say that if you have literally watched this far, thank you all so much for watching. And as always, if you like what you see, then please hit the like button, and of course comment down below what you think of this figure, and of course subscribe to the channel to give some support, and also if you want to see more videos in the future. And if you want to be notified, hit that notification bell button after you subscribe. And of course, I also have other social media that may have some interests. And of course, Patreon, which is an option. You don't have to go down and support me there, but it's an option if you want to. Either way, That's all I have to say. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, only time will tell what I'm about to review next. Until then, I'll see you all then, and justice for Ironhide.